Welcome to Steps, a podcast celebrating people and their stories. Far too often, we don't give people the opportunity to share their journey, where they've come from, what they've overcome, and the amazing things that have happened in their lives. That's what we're going to do on Steps. We'll have real conversations with real people to understand how they've gotten to this place in time. Confucius said, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So, let's start this journey. This week on Steps, I want to try and do something a little bit different. It's something that's been in my head for a little while, and I kind of dubbed it baby steps. Something that's a little bit in between and to where I can share my thoughts, my viewpoints, my vision, and kind of everything around maybe certain topics. And right now, the thing that kind of keeps coming up for me, and it's been a red thread throughout a lot of my episodes, is the feeling of it's okay to not be okay. Everybody, it seems right now, is kind of going through things or has gone through things. And each one of my guests, and myself included, right, has been on a journey specifically over the past 2 years. But again, you can obviously look longer. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I've gotten a lot of responses, a lot of DMs, a lot of, Twitter responses, things like that, from people saying like what we're doing and the stories that we're sharing have helped them. And it sheds some light on that people struggle. Because right now, we see a lot of things out in social media. We see everything on Instagram, TikTok, everything that gets put out there is curated, right? I mean, even, podcasts, right? So when I'm done with a podcast, I go into editing, I sit and I figure out, okay, hey, what do we want to share? What don't we want to share? The really cool thing about it is recorded 8 episodes with 8 amazing guests so far. And we've only had to cut out like 1 or 2 small things across all 8 episodes to where it was maybe like a misspeak or just something wanted to get popped out. But that's the interesting thing, right? Like, it's still an error can happen and we cut it out. And I wanted to talk about like the fact that errors happen. Life happens every single day. And there's a quote, and I think I've said it in one of my previous episodes, that in talking with my brother John, that it was, our past is written in pen and our future we can write in pencil. But right now is kind of the only moment that we have. And, I want to think about that reflection, that past written in pen, because there's absolutely nothing that we can do to change it. There's nothing we can do to remove it from it happening. But yet we tend to focus so much on it and we dwell on it and we continue to think about how we would have done something different or how we could have done something different or how this has brought us to where we're at. And the notion that it's done, it's permanent, it's set in stone, is a daunting one. Because if I look at like my childhood trauma or where I was brought up or how I was brought up or anybody that I've talked to, their unique story is exactly that. It's unique to them. It's unique to the person, and it shaped their life until this moment right here. So I shared about 2 years ago, I started therapy. A little under 2 years ago, call it 1.5 years. And it's been one of the best things that I've done. And again, this is not me. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not any of this stuff. I'm just sharing my experience. The therapy to me has been a godsend. My therapist, Annie, I absolutely adore her. And we built a very tremendous relationship. There's a lot to be said for having somebody to talk through things that's a part of your life, but not in the day-to-day. Someone who's educated, somebody who's trained to be able to help facilitate this conversation, give tools that you need to be able to move your life forward, or even just take a step back to reflect on some stuff. So each couple of my guests have talked about, their journeys into therapy, how it's helped them. And I'll be the first to say it, like, man, it's scary. Like, it was scary for me to kind of decide to do it. And even when I decided to do it, it took me probably about a week and a half to 2 weeks to actually pick up the phone to be able to schedule an appointment, because it's one of those, it's like, do I really need therapy? Is this like, am I really doing this? But it got to the point where I was having a hard time getting out of bed at times. Corey and I talked quite frequently, and again, I was just, the headspace that I was in didn't allow me to live optimally as a husband, as a father, as an employee, like all of those things, right? And as we were going through it, I decided that I wanted to take that leap. And what was comical, I say it's comical, was when I've got the onboarding form, and it's like, well, have you, kind of give me the synopsis. It was kind of like the Cliff's Notes version of my life for her to understand what we were getting into. And I put it out there, and I remember distinctly on our first call, she's like, wow, you've been through some stuff. And I don't share that. I don't say that I've been through stuff to make anybody feel differently for me, about me, anything like that. I say it because we've all been through stuff. And just because it's, not big to me, it may be big to somebody else. So the journey of therapy has been pretty interesting for me. It's been a fun one. It's been, I've had moments to where I've literally broke down and cried, or I've walked away and gone, like, what just happened? I've had moments of joy. I've had practical techniques that I've taken away and tried to apply in my dealings with my wife, with my kids, in work. But the journey of therapy it's been amazing for me. And I know that so many people benefit from it. And I know that many people are very scared of it. So like, I kind of wanted to use this as an opportunity to encourage whomever. And again, my DMs are always open. I'm always willing to connect and share my experience. And maybe that's something I do a little bit more later on, but it's helped me continue down the path that I'm meant to be on, right? And I truly believe that. So, but yeah, like going back to it's okay to not be okay. We've all been there. We're all there at one point in time or another. And I also think it's important to surround yourself with people that can call you out on it when you're not being your best for the people and for the surroundings. And I also think it's important that you surround yourself with people that can challenge you, right? Like, your community is a very big piece of you. And I think it's something that I personally have learned to lean into, assess, and continue to try to figure out who's part of my community, who's part of my tribe, and who do I want to be surrounding myself with, so that I can continue to level up and that I have the ability to continue to work through things. So just wanted to touch on that, wanted to use this initial baby steps to talk and let everybody know that, like, look, life is one of those things that it's an evolutionary process. We continue to go through it. We continue to walk through the journey of life. And each and every day, in my opinion, is a blessing. So every day on this earth, we get the opportunity to live and to try to do our best. And sometimes it doesn't always come out that way. There's a coach, I'll leave it with this. There's a coach that I worked with at Georgia State, Roger Kincaid. And I'd go in to talk to Roger, and we were in Bible study together, and we did all these things together. And one thing that Roger always said that stands with me is, each day is either a plus or a minus. All right, so take a step back and think about that. Each day can be a good thing. It can be a good day. It can be a plus at the end of the day, or it can be a minus. The great thing is, given the opportunity, you get to wake up tomorrow and do it all over again. So tomorrow can be a plus or a minus. And one thing Roger always said was, at the end of his time on this earth, whenever God calls him to meet him at the pearly gates and, leave this world behind, he just wants to have more pluses than minuses behind. And I think that's always something we can all strive to do. Realizing that, again, it's okay to not be okay. Tomorrow's a new day. And at the end of it all, let's try to finish it up with more pluses than minuses. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen, and I suppose me ramble a little bit. we'll be back next week with a new guest. But let me know your thoughts on this. I want to know if, kind of these topics or certain topics are something we want to cover, and something that, quick little sound bites, 10, 15 minutes, are beneficial to you. I would love to hear it. Like I said, you can reach me Instagram, Twitter, wherever you can follow me. But I truly appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you listening in on this platform. And have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. What were your takeaways? What were you left with? Let me know over on my Instagram at Steve Vencel, SteveVencl, on the post for this episode. Additionally, please share this with someone who may benefit from hearing these words. That's what it's about, sharing people's stories and understanding how to keep moving forward. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, keep moving forward, even if it is just one small step at a time.